Dr. Salman Ahmad Sheikh. Doctor, what is your opinion regarding the same question, that is about the challenges for the riba free economy on economics grounds? That what do you feel that what would the challenge can be a basic challenge for riba free economy, sir?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, thank you to the organizers for giving me the opportunity again to speak here, and to the session chair for allowing me to answer this question. First of all, we need to look at what are the challenges of Islamizing the economy and making it riba free. If we look at the challenges and if we jot down a few of the challenges that we might face in the road towards making Pakistan riba free, first of all, lack of political will. So we know that in 1991, historic judgment on interest came. So it was decided that bank interest is riba. But then government itself, rather than implementing the decision, went into appeals process. And we know that 30 years of time was wasted in those appeals process and the delaying tactics. And now again, when the federal Shariat court's decision came in 2022, after that also some banks, including some government banks as well, went into the appeals process. Then they backed out. So all of this shows lack of political will. First of all, we need to be convinced, as Sheikh Masmi has also described. First of all, we have to be convinced that yes, we need to have riba-free economy, and we need to have conviction in that. If we are not confident, if we don't have conviction, definitely our actions would not follow, and that is the biggest problem, the lack of political will. Then second problem is the policy inconsistency. So what we see is that some bills are passed, like in Punjab as well, that the private loaning of money on interest basis is now prohibited, but then the conventional banking is doing interest-based banking, and that is still legal. So there is policy inconsistency as well. On one side, we are saying that private lending business should not be on the basis of interest. On the other hand, we are allowing conventional banking to operate freely. So that is where we also need to look at the policy inconsistency feature. Very recently, State Bank of Pakistan has given 5 licenses to digital banks, and all of these are conventional banks. So this does not show political will or policy consistency to allow Islamic banking to flourish. Because if we are starting a new segment and right at the very start we are starting it through conventional banking, then definitely this is not the step in the right direction. Another challenge is lack of coordination. So when we are talking about Islamizing the whole economy, then a lot of departments, a lot of government functionaries would be involved. The monetary policy side, the fiscal policy side, the public policy side. So all of these have to be on the same page. And lack of awareness among customers is a problem. But when we talk about the stakeholders, the broader stakeholders, the policy makers, the legislators, the judges, who are to give decisions and who are to make regulatory changes, they are not aware of Islamic banking, and they are not sold to the idea of Islamic banking. So that is where another challenge comes in. And regulatory challenges are also very important, especially in the aftermath of 18th Amendment. So now a lot of laws have provincial jurisdiction, and some laws have national level jurisdiction. So we need to see that all of these laws have to be aligned to make riba-free economy possible. So for instance, if interest-based lending is not allowed in Punjab, but is allowed in other provinces, so that is not going to be, paving the way for Islamizing or making the economy riba-free. Now, when it comes to whether it is doable, whether riba-free economy is doable, yes, I think so, because now we do not need to start from the scratch. In a lot of product segments, Islamic banking is already making a headway. It has 20% share in overall banking. The largest asset management company in Pakistan is also a Sharia-compliant asset management company with the name of Al-Mizan. In the Mudarba sector, we see a lot of Mudarba companies. In Takaful sector as well, we are seeing a lot of penetration. And the market which is not tapped is huge. And that is not captured by conventional banking and also not by Islamic banks. So the new market segments are also there for Islamic banks to grab, for Islamic financial institutions to grab. So we do not have to start from the scratch. It's not like 90s where we were just conceptualizing whether Islamic banking can work, whether Islamic finance can work. Now all we need to do is to basically scale up already what we have achieved. and there is evidence of, doing successful transformation. Faisal Bank is a very good example. It was a huge bank, conventional bank, and it got transformed into a full-fledged Islamic bank. So if Faisal Bank can do it, Bank Al Falah can also do it, Bank Al Habib can also do it. Summit Bank has now shown commitment to Islamize its overall banking to Islamic. So all of these are very good steps, and we need to have not only organic growth but inorganic growth as well. Like if the institution themselves come into picture and they make a transformation plan and they make themselves open to doing Islamic banking and becoming a full-fledged Islamic bank, then definitely the growth in the market share can increase exponentially. And in the non-banking sector, there is much less challenge because the market is not that huge and Islamic segments are already doing really well. Now, my final point is about what steps are needed. So some points which I would like to highlight is that coordination and commitment is needed. We need to have conviction like Sheikh Masmi had also described. We need to also have transformation plans coming from banks. They need to give 5-year plan that how they are going to be making themselves transformed into a riba-free banking system, and also government also needs to play a very active role, because in banking we have 20% share, but in public finance the share of sukuk through which Islamic instruments are being used in public finance, the share is only 2%. So government is utilizing Islamic finance for its public finance needs only to the extent of 2%. So government has to make a plan that first of all it should disallow all the state-owned enterprises to take interest-based loans, and then it should transform its own departments on interest-free basis, and then gradually a stepwise plan has to be made. A strategic plan has to be there. Policy consistency is very necessary. Departments need to be made. We need to not rely on individuals like Senator Mushtaq Saab or Senator Muhammad Ali or some individuals. If they raise voices, let's say if the government changes, then these voices are no longer there. So we need to have permanent steering committees, permanent standing committees, permanent departments in the State Bank of Pakistan and also in the Ministry of Finance, so that this transformation of the overall economy can be done. We have the example of Iran, we have the example of Sudan. So the whole economy can be Islamized. We need to have conviction, we need to have commitment, and this goal can be achieved. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Salman Ahmad Sheikh, for your valuable point.